So I just realized that I did this big 6-minute monologue for my introduction, which is way too long to hold anyone's attention. So if you'd like to stick around after the song to hear me speak about sexual abuse and harassment and ways which you can start making a difference, I will see you after the song. Otherwise, thanks for listening. Me too. Mary and Amanda were the best of friends all through their high school days. Both members of the 4-H club, both active in the FFA. After graduation, Mary Ann went out looking for a brand new world. Wanda looked all around his town and all she found was Earl. Well, it wasn't 2 weeks after she got married that Wanda started getting abused. Put on dark glasses and long sleeve blouses and makeup to cover a bruise. Well, she finally got the nerve to file for divorce. She let the law take it from there. Earl walked right through that restraining order and put her in intensive care. Right away, Mary Ann flew in from Atlanta on a red-eyed midnight flight. She held Wanda's hand as they worked out a plan, and it didn't take them long to decide. Why don't you lay down and sleep, Earl? Ain't it dark? Wrapped up in that top, Earl. Na na na, na 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 na. Well, the cops came by to bring search a house high and low, and they tipped their hats and said, "Thank you, ladies, if you hear from him, let us know." So the weeks went by and spring turned to summer, and summer faded into the fall. As it turns out, he was a missing person who nobody missed at all. So the girls bought some land at a roadside stand down on Highway 109, Maysville, Tennessee. Ham and strawberry jam, and don't lose any sleep at night, 'cause Earl had to die. Na 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 na. Goodbye, Earl, we need a break. Let's go down to the lake, Earl. We'll pack the lunch and stuff you in the trunk, Earl. Well, is that alright? And let's go for a ride, Earl. Hey! Na 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 So a while back I started making, I guess, solidarity videos, or I only made a couple actually, but so I've been really sick, so I haven't made them in a while, but I started as a, I guess, solidarity, make sure we're all together, and continued as, I guess, protest was the next one, and now I'm back to everybody needs to keep speaking out. But something happened on social media recently where it was the Me Too campaign, and basically all women were speaking up to say if they had also been sexually harassed or sexually assaulted, then they would say Me Too. And almost every single man that I knew was saying, like, they were shocked, like, how is this happening to all of the women that I know? Like, almost every woman was saying Me Too, Me Too. And the thing that shocked me was not that all these women were posting it, but that all the men were shocked that it was happening to people in their realms, like somehow sexual assault and abuse is some mythical beast out there that affects other people, or it only happens one time in a woman's life, if it even happens then. Like, but the reality is it happens to women all the time, on a very regular basis of varying levels. Obviously, we're not being raped every day of our lives, but sexual harassment, absolutely. The next thing everybody started saying was, okay, what can I do? What can I do? Obviously, the big ones. If somebody comes to you and says, hey, this has happened to me, stand with them. Don't question it. Don't shame them. Don't insult them by insinuating somehow they must have provoked something. You know, go to your bosses, go to the police, go to the hospitals. Those are the big ones. I feel like the no-brainers. But in my personal opinion, things like this occur against any minority group because society as a whole makes that group of people inferior. And in America, especially, men want to believe that women are equal because we can go to school, we can become scientists, but that is not equality. Equality is, I mean, yes, we should be having equal jobs, and we don't even have equal pay yet. We're still 73 cents on the dollar compared to men. But especially in the way that society raises women and treats women. So I guess to me, this isn't technically sexual harassment or assault, but it is a way of submissing women, and it is systemic, and it happens everywhere, and it happens from birth. So I guess to answer a lot of those, what can you start doing? You can start talking differently to women. You can start changing your own vocabulary. Stop using the word sweetheart, honey, dear. We're not an object. We're not your sweetheart. We're not a sexual being. We are sexual beings, but we're not your sexual being. We have names. We are human beings. When women talk, we are, oh, you're just emotional. Oh, you're just exaggerating. All the time, women are constantly being told these things, which the reality is we are not. If the same thing happened to a man, the man would say exactly the same thing, and the world would treat him differently by saying, like, oh my gosh, that happened, like, how crazy, and but even bigger yet, you can start from birth with your children, because boys are raised from birth to be strong and superior, and girls are from birth raised to be submissive and weak and silenced. Women are taught to constantly, I'm so sorry, even when we don't do things, I'm so sorry, and we're supposed to take care of everybody, and if we're not taking care of somebody, somehow we're a bad woman. Like, we're not taking care of our children and our family and our husbands. Well, what about our husbands? Like, nobody talks that way about the men, but they should be taking care of these people too. Our society is riddled with phrases like, oh, you don't throw like a girl, don't cry like a girl, or, oh, you're being a baby like a girl. The second people say that, I've had so many men try to justify that and say it doesn't mean anything. Kim, it absolutely means something. The second you tell someone, a boy, don't cry like a girl, you are telling him girls are weak, girls are less than you, and if you are going to be a man, you're going to be strong because you have to be tough and above crying, above emotions, above instantly. So you've taught your boys that they're superior, you're teaching your girls they're inferior. And you've instantly created a divide. And yes, these are boys that maybe it seems innocent now, but these are the people who grow up to be men who do feel superior to women, and that they have to hover and caretake, and thus leads to the harassments and the sweethearts and the touches and everything else that men feel justified to do. I mean, even just last week last week was a conversation about it. But somewhere like a month ago, I was even in my physical therapy, and a man's hand is on my thigh, like upper thigh, and he's claiming this is some form of normal gesture friendship. It is not normal. Like, if I'm backing away and shooing people off, and the worst part is society doesn't get on the man, they get at the woman for causing the scene. Like, I've now caused a scene in public because don't do this to me. So there you go, right there. People see this all the time, but they stay silent and they do nothing. So I guess, to me, those are the things that people can start changing to start truly creating equality. Even with girls, stop objectifying them. Really catch yourself, like myself included. At some point, I realized I do this too. We are all a part of a society we're raised in, and that's not necessarily a fault of ours, but the fault of ours is when, we have adult thinking minds, and we continue to behave because, oh, this is how I was taught to be, or this is how society is. That's where the problem is. But think about it, for all the little girls in your lives, whether it's, at school settings or your family, nieces, whatever, you see your friends' kids, you see them, you're like, oh, you're so pretty, I love your braids, I love your bow, I love your pink little dress, oh, I love your nail polish. Like, everything we talk to them about is the object of their being. We objectify them. Whereas if that's a boy, we never talk about their physical appearance, ever. It's always, how are you? How is school? How is science? How is math? How is football? What do you do? How are you playing? We literally are dignifying them as a human being. So even in the simplest of hello, how are yous, we are creating a divide between men and women. So I know this is an incredibly long introduction, but I think it's important, and it was, I guess, brought me out of my year-long bacterial infection hiding. I'm still very sick, so just bear with me. Not my finest hour, but anyways, I chose a song in support of the Me Too campaign, and this one is specific. It's an iconic song, actually, but it's about domestic violence. And I think the reality is, too, that for people need to understand, even the men that are saying, oh my gosh, this happens to all women. It doesn't happen once and it's over with. It happens, it's a lifelong thing. Like my personal self, I am a survivor of domestic violence. I have had a husband who domestically abused me in that setting. I have been raped. I have been sexually assaulted. I have been sexually harassed in workplaces, at doctor's offices, like I said, a month ago in my physical therapy setting, at social gatherings. I mean, how many times are women at parties and we have the handsy man with his hands all over us, backing us into corners, or standing so close that the Gray's effect happens while he's talking, and oh, it's just nothing, he means nothing. It's not nothing, it's something. So I think keep talking. Everybody keep talking. Women keep talking, keep getting louder. Maybe for a while you'll have to walk alone because people don't like to be called out on things, but that's okay. Walk alone with your dignity until people start joining in to realize that it's pretty much everybody is Me Too. So here you go.